that report. Now, here's a fact sheet about the inauguration that ushered in Donald Trump as the 47th President of the United States. We'll also be looking at highlights and possible, programs, rather the Kenya-U.S. relations in the coming future. And the presidential swearing-in is a tradition that has been observed since 1789, and this was the 60th presidential inauguration ceremony. Donald Trump took oath of office as the 47th President of the United States of America, USA, and he returns to the White House after winning the 2024 election, where he defeated his opponent, Democrat and outgoing Vice President Kamala Harris. The oath of office is every new president must swear to faithfully execute the office. The oath is a constitutional mandate taken by the incoming president to ensure fidelity to the nation's core values. That is the oath that President Donald J. Trump took earlier on today. Now, the oath is administered by the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court of the United States of America, and for the first time, the inauguration is happening indoors. The inauguration took place at the Capitol Rotunda, that is the setting where Trump took oath of office, and there was about 700 people inside the rotunda for that ceremony. There were a number of senators and former presidents, as well as lawmakers from the House of Representatives. Former President Bill Clinton and Hillary Clinton were also in attendance. Barack Obama was also in attendance, but without Michelle Obama, who is deliberately staying away. George W. Bush and Laura Bush were also in attendance. The invited guests included some foreign leaders such as the Chinese Vice President Han Zheng, the President of Argentina Javier Milei, as well as Italian Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni were in attendance. And we did see the array of fashion displayed by various guests, all the way from Melania Trump, the new First Lady of the US, among other invited guests. Now, Trump has quite an entry. He is expected to sign as many as 100 executive orders on his first day in office, and he's already spoken about the delimitation and the alienation and the specification of gender. There will only be two genders, male and female. The executive orders are signed statements about how the president wants the federal government to be managed. They can be instructions to federal agencies or requests for reports. Many orders can be unobjectionable, but they can also lay out major policies of the U.S. New presidents can and often do issue orders to cancel the orders of their predecessors. Now, the orders do not require congressional approval and can't be directly overturned by lawmakers. During his first term, Trump signed 220 executive orders. Biden signed 160 executive orders as of December 20th. On his entry further is that on the global stage, Trump is focused on renegotiating trade deals, ramping up military spending, and re-evaluating America's role in international climate agreements. We'll also be looking at what that means, especially for the U.S. He has also said he will revisit the ban on TikTok. We did say there was that ban, and he said he will revisit, notably because he gained and they gained billions of views during the campaign. Now let's take this back home, the Kenya-U.S. relations, and what this means especially for the two countries. The United States and Kenya remain strategic partners over time, especially having marked 60 years of diplomatic relations last year in 2024, and that was also highlighted by the state visit to the U.S. by President William Ruto. Kenya is a key ally in East Africa, with the U.S. and Kenya sharing strong ties in trade, security, and development. The U.S. trades with Kenya over $1 billion annually. Kenya is a growing trade partner with both nations benefiting from economic cooperation. In Obama's legacy was strengthening U.S.-Kenya ties, and during the Obama administration, the U.S.-Kenya relations deepened, particularly through the Global Health Initiative and support for Kenya's fight against terrorism. The future of U.S.-Kenya relations is seen as focusing on matters stability, security, and trade. Under the new administration, the future of this partnership will likely focus on trade deals, military cooperation, and addressing climate challenges. Further, on a security partnership, the two countries will continue to focus on countering terrorism as Kenya plays a strategic role in U.S. counter-terrorism efforts, particularly in combating the Al-Shabaab militant group in Somalia. Joint military training and counter-terrorism operations will also continue to feature. We've seen the former Secretary of Defense, this former Secretary of Defense making his trips to Africa and especially to Kenya regarding the military agreements. The U.S. military continues to offer support to Kenya, which includes training and intelligence sharing, as well as helping to combat terrorism and ensuring the stability of the Horn of Africa. Finally, on matters Kenya-U.S. relations, Donald Trump in his speech has once again said he will put America first, that is reshaping trade deals that benefit the U.S., but also will be waiting to see how the African continent, and especially Kenya, shapes itself and also ensures it's a win-win situation for everyone. Trump's America's First policy has led to a re-evaluation of global trade agreements. And under this framework, Kenya could benefit more from direct trade agreements with the U.S., but it could also face challenges if the U.S. favors bilateral over multilateral deals. That is just a nutshell of the entry that Donald Trump is expected to find, even as he continues to sign several executive orders on his first day in office. Remember, this is his inauguration day. It is exactly 1:48 p.m. in the U.S., and we want to see, and we'll be waiting to see what is coming out of Washington, especially after that inauguration ceremony of Donald Trump, who takes oath of office, or rather who has taken oath of office as the 47th President of the United States of America. And to remind you, our guests tonight are none other than Professor Peter Kagwanja, an international relations expert and policy advisor, Dr. Hassan Kanenje, Director, Horn International Institute for Strategic Studies, as well as Benson Cheserek. He is a business and political analyst based in North Carolina. And I want us to start off this conversation right from North Carolina, even as we engage the other guests. Benson Cheserek